station that's on your side. This is News 12, First at 5.
Good afternoon. Today we're hearing from the family of a Screven County man killed by a former Georgia State Trooper after a grand jury just decided not to seek charges in that case.
You might remember 60-year-old Julian Lewis was shot and killed in August of last year. This is video from when crowds rallied in downtown Sylvania to protest his death. Investigators say Thompson shot Lewis once after Lewis led him on a car chase through Screven County. Thompson was then charged with murder, but just yesterday, a grand jury decided against any charges for Thompson. Today, the attorney for the Lewis family says he believes state troopers are the best and most qualified officers, but that Thompson does not have a clean record.
He did have multiple complaints in his file, particularly one that drew my attention. He says if Jacob Gordon, the complainant said, if Jacob Gordon Thompson is allowed to continue to be a state trooper, he will kill somebody. And we've made those available, and if people want to look at those, that's public record.
Before the grand jury's decision, they heard testimony from Jacob Thompson about why he used deadly force during his encounter with Lewis. The jury also cross-examined him and was able to watch dash cam video from the day of the incident.
Thompson's attorney also speaking out about this decision, saying he believes the jury made the right call.
And the grand jury, they engaged. They had questions. They spoke up, which we wanted them to do that. Jake Thompson has never had anything to hide, and he talked to them from the bottom of his heart.
Jacob Thompson was fired by GSP after the shooting. He's still allowed to serve as an officer with other agencies if he decides he wants to do that.
More news ahead, but time now for a quick check of the weather. We've got First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale. What do you see out there?
Not much happening out there this afternoon for us. We're looking at mostly dry conditions this afternoon. We saw Danny pass by late last night, and that is now all the way towards the Tennessee-Mississippi border, bringing in some heavier downpours. For us, we're back to our general summertime pattern, just this onshore flow starting to move inland and producing a few tiny showers out there, but nothing expected to be widespread over the next couple of hours. Most of this rain is south of I-20, mainly in our southern counties, southern Burt County, Jenkins as well. Screven, you've been dealing with a few tiny showers. But through this evening, these will just be very hit or miss. Nothing expected to be too widespread or too problematic. So if you do have outdoor plans later this evening, we should have plenty of dry weather out there to get those in. Especially if you're heading out to SRP Park. The Green Jackets are back in town tonight. It is First Responder Tuesday. First pitch is going to be at 7:05, and rain chances look very slim at SRP Park for game time, especially as we head past sunset later tonight. Here's a current look over Grovetown, showing a lot of sunshine, a lot of blue sky as well. Another hot afternoon, 92, but feeling like 95. We'll take a look at some higher storm chances by Friday into Saturday, just about 10 minutes.
A 20-year-old is behind bars today in Richmond County accused of killing his own grandmother, 75 years old. Deputies say Torrey Sapp Jr. faces murder and weapons charges after they say he stabbed his grandmother, Rosalind Sapp. We first broke the story yesterday afternoon when deputies responded here to this home on Hillwood Lane. It's right near Westminster Schools of Augusta, and that's where they found Rosalind Sapp with a stab wound in her torso. She was pronounced dead on scene just after 1 o'clock, broad daylight. Her grandson, Sapp Jr., is being held at the Webster Detention Center.
Happening now, South Carolina lawmakers talking about a couple of big issues today.
This year's tax filing. A local nonprofit is spreading mental health awareness, and they want you to help them out. Global Mentality is putting together a fundraiser in July at Topgolf. Next month is Minority Mental Health Awareness Month, and the group wants to shed light on the disparities minorities face while also raising money to give back to those looking to work in the mental health care system.
By spreading mental health awareness, we hope to break the stigma that's associated with mental health illnesses, as well as improve access to health care.
Coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we're going to break down some of those disparities that minorities face when it comes to mental health, and also show you how you can support those trying to get into the field.
Health experts say the Delta variant could soon be the most dominant strain of COVID-19 in the U.S. It's said to spread more easily and could be more dangerous, and that's why leaders around the globe are working to ramp up the vaccine distribution around the world. And right now, less than 11% of people worldwide are fully vaccinated. Here in the U.S., that number is at 46%. Members with the FDA say they expect cases to spike in certain regions of the country. Right now, the states with the lowest vaccination rates are Alabama, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Wyoming.
It's
going to be hyper-regionalized, where there's certain pockets of the country where you can have very dense outbreaks.
Either you get vaccinated and you're exposed, so you're protected, or you don't get vaccinated and you're exposed and you get COVID and you take your chances.
Well, here's a look at the latest vaccination numbers here in Georgia. The Department of Public Health says 38% of Georgians are fully vaccinated. 43% have gotten at least one dose. And in South Carolina, 42% of people are fully vaccinated. According to DHEC, 48% of South Carolinians have at least one dose.
Cyclists could feel a little safer on Georgia roads after a new law goes into effect this week. Right now, drivers must give cyclists 3 feet of space when passing. Think the length of a guitar or a golden retriever from head to tail, or a little bit longer than a baseball bat. While the 3 feet rule has been in place since 2011, this new law adds drivers must also get over if there is an available lane. You can cross a double yellow or white line to give 3 feet of space. And if you can't cross because of oncoming traffic, you do have to slow down to at least 10 miles an hour when passing bicyclists. The new law goes into effect this Thursday. State officials say if you're caught violating the law, the fine is $250.
And a heads up, if you drive an older SUV, General Motors recalling more than 380,000 of them, some for the second time. The recall covers the 2010 through 2016 Cadillac SRX and the 2011 and 2012 Saab 94X. It is to fix a suspension problem that can cause the SUVs to sway at highway speeds. If you own one, be on the lookout for some unusual steering behavior and any dashboard light warnings. And GM says those drivers affected will be notified starting in August.
If you need to beat the heat this week, the Columbia County Sheriff's Office is holding a lemonade stand for a very good cause. Deputies are teaming up with the Marshall Pines Assisted Living and Memory Care Unit in Evans to raise money for the Alzheimer's Association. That stand will be at Marshall Pines. That's right off of North Bel Air Road. It'll be Thursday from 10 to 2, and each glass is just $1. Tough to beat that. Other baked goods will be for sale too, and all the proceeds go to the Alzheimer's Association. So great day to do that right in the peak of summer, Riley.
And we are going to have some hot and muggy conditions, so lemonade will taste great the next couple of afternoons. And rain chances looking pretty slim until we get to later this week, Friday into Saturday. Take a look at how a cold front could impact us next.
Plus, it's something usually saved for athletes, but now there's a call to screen all kids for cardiac issues. We're going to hear from the experts about why.
Like home.
The American Heart Association says every year around 7,000 children suffer cardiac arrest.
Now, a well-known pediatric group is calling for all children to be screened for cardiac issues, not just athletes. Here's Mandy Gaither to explain.
Up until now, screenings for cardiac conditions in children have mostly been directed at athletes.
The cardiac arrest in children is a rare event, fortunately, but it is not a zero incidence at all.
In a statement published in the medical journal Pediatrics, the American Academy of Pediatrics is now calling for all children to be screened for conditions that could lead to cardiac arrest or death.
We are saying that no subpopulation of kids should be selected out from screening because all children could have a potential risk.
Ready, 1, 2, 3.
The AAP says those screenings should be part of a child's regular exam and call for doctors to delve into personal and family medical history and ask questions like, has the child ever had exercise-related chest pain or shortness of breath?
If we identify one of these conditions, particularly before they have any kind of a sudden cardiac event, treatment can be initiated or at least that they can be monitored.
The statement also lists common conditions for primary care physicians to be aware of that could put young patients at risk, saying these screenings could save a life.
The AAP also says it's important for pediatricians to push for emergency action plans and CPR training in their communities, and say no screening strategy will detect all conditions associated with having a sudden heart attack.
U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham pushing for it as a whole. And speaking of Myrtle Beach, going to give you a live look courtesy of EarthCam there. The wind and waves looking a whole lot calmer today. Looks like a nice day at the beach compared to yesterday when we had a tropical storm moving ashore. Let's check in with First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hale. Riley, not too bad out there.
Yeah, looking much better this afternoon. Kind of back to our generic summer pattern over the next couple of afternoons. Just as general onshore flow will continue to produce a few summer showers each afternoon through Thursday, but we're keeping an an eye on this boundary, currently producing some flash flood watches across states like Oklahoma, Missouri, Illinois as well. This front's going to finally drop further south Friday into Saturday, and that's where our higher storm chances are going to come into play. And latest model guidance actually showing that front dropping south by Sunday and showing a much better forecast for our July 4th weekend than what we were thinking yesterday. So we'll have more on that in just a second. Just tracking a few tiny showers in our southern counties right now. These are trying to make their way further inland. If one or two hold together over the next couple of hours, we could see a few raindrops here in Augusta, but they are very hit or miss, folks. Nothing too widespread, and as soon as they pop up, they just kind of fizzle out. This is just thanks to the sea breeze moving inland, so as that continues, could set off a few little tiny showers, but a lot of us are expected to stay dry. Looking at mostly sunny skies here over Grovetown, a beautiful afternoon here. 92 degrees, feeling like 95. Still pretty humid in the wake of Danny. That did now all the way near Tennessee and Mississippi this afternoon. Here's a look at our planner through this evening into tonight. Temps staying in the 80s up until around sunset. If you're heading out to SRP Park tonight, rain chances looking very low, so I don't think we should have to deal with too much rain out there. Past midnight, we're just going to see some patchy dense fog form by tomorrow morning, and low temperature is going to stay pretty muggy. Not expecting to see the 60s anywhere tomorrow morning. Most likely stay in the low 70s out there. For tomorrow afternoon, we're expecting high temperatures to be kind of similar to what they are today. Upper 80s to low 90s will be the spread across the region. It'll feel like the mid 90s, so still feeling pretty humid out there the next couple of days. If you have lake plans, remember, just isolated storms the next couple of afternoons after lunchtime. Keep that in mind if you are going to be out in the water, but I think we will have plenty of dry weather up at the lake the next couple of days. Friday into Saturday, that's when we're timing out our next cold front, but the latest guidance we're looking at today, the forecast has actually improved for Sunday. We're expecting that front to drop far enough south to where it should actually lower those rain chances by Sunday and actually bring us below average feeling air. Should be actually feeling good. Here's the way it's playing out for us. So this is a look at the latest model guidance coming out today. Definitely showing high rain chances Friday, Saturday ahead of this front. But the latest trends we're seeing in both our long range models, not just the European, but the GFS is showing this too. That front's expected to get far enough south to where it brings in some lower humidity, lowers our high temperatures, and rain chances looking pretty slim. So we're hoping it plays out this way. The latest guidance we're definitely seeing showing improvement for Sunday's forecast. We're going to have to keep an eye on that, though, because that could change still. As we head past our holiday Sunday, we're expecting just a chance for more of those summer storms on the afternoons of Monday and Tuesday. And we have our latest sunshade winner here courtesy of Plunkett Heating and Air. Congrats to Liriola Ernsberger from Grovetown. You can get your very own Plunkett Heating and Air sunshade just by going to wrdw.com. You can click on contest, enter your email. We'll announce these winners right here on First at 5 every Tuesday and Thursday.
Riley, thanks. Federal unemployment benefits are coming to an end. Georgia and South Carolina, two of more than 20 states, ending those extra payments at the end of this month ahead of a September deadline.
South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster says his decision to end them early is already starting to bring people back to work.
We're hearing from businesses around the state that things are getting better, but we still have a ways to go.
Adam Mincer has been talking to the experts today. So, Adam, what do they say? Do they agree with the governor?
Richard and Laura, just some data to start off with. We started in April, I should say.
You were earning $16 an hour or less before the pandemic, you were better off financially staying on unemployment, and that's no longer the case.
While lower wage workers may start clocking in again soon, economists say it's harder for higher paying industries to recruit new staff.
Industries that are facing labor shortages like construction and manufacturing, where the average wage rate is closer to $30 an hour, that's probably not going to help them as much. In their case, they're going to need more focus on job training and other ways to improve worker skills.
The Small Business Chamber president says he expects the economy to go back to normal sometime around the fall.
Kids will be all back in school, K through 12. The college kids will be back in town. Mothers will be able to go back to work because they don't have to worry about who's going to take care of the children.
And the Department of Labor workforce tells us that pretty much everything in every industry is hiring right now. You've seen the signs all over town.
Yeah, there's a big need right now. A lot of them are trying to incentivize workers with more benefits and higher wages, so that could be a win-win right there.
Yeah, getting people back to work. All right, coming up next, we've seen tattoos take off in popularity over the last couple of years, but now doctors say they are staying busy taking them off. A closer look at the trend of getting those tattoos removed coming up.
Why paid until you get paid? Get serious. Call attorney John Foy and Associates today.
We have seen people make a lot of changes because of the pandemic, from new jobs to home improvement projects.
Now doctors are seeing more people than ever looking to get their tattoos removed. Here's Michael George with the story.
Hello there. Nice to meet you.
Jessica Blumberg is hoping Dr. Mitchell Chasen can make her tattoos disappear.
Especially after going through a pandemic with working from home, raising 2 kids. That year I matured so much that when I look at the tattoos, I'm like, oh, I'm not that person anymore.
Tattoos have grown in popularity. A 2019 survey found 30% of Americans had at least one tattoo, up from 21% in 2012. And Dr. Chasen says he's busy taking them off.
During COVID time, the number of people coming in desiring tattoo removal has exploded. A lot of people have more disposable income. They're not spending it on trips, they're not spending it on cars, they're not buying new clothes to go out.
Tattoo removal sessions used to take up to an hour, but now with new laser technology, a session can be over in just seconds.
Here we go.
Simple art is treated quickly, but can require 3 or 4 visits to remove. Color tattoos take longer. This one will need at least 6 sessions. Blumberg is using stimulus money to help pay for her procedure.
So I figured let's use the stimulus check towards something that will, really help me change how I feel about myself.
A recent report from Kenneth Research predicts the global tattoo removal market will grow to $4.8 billion by 2023.
As fast as people are getting tattoos, which is exploding, we're seeing the number of people getting them removed exploding even faster.
Costs vary depending on the size, depth of the ink, and complexity of the art. Removal prices can range from several $100s to several thousand. Michael George, CBS News, Martinsville, New Jersey.
Wow. I think we're all amazed at how fast those things lighten up.
Crazy.
That laser treatment.
Yeah, I didn't realize you would see results that quick.
Like an eraser, but the young woman interviewed earlier, that's the key. I'm not that person anymore.
Yeah, you gotta have a lot of foresight before you put something on you for life.
What do you love that much that you're gonna carry around with you forever?
And what are you sure you're still gonna love that much?
And what will it look like when you're 80?
My grandfather, growing up, he had his initials tattooed on his wrist. He would always show me it's just like a big blob by the time I came around, and I was like, I am never getting one of those. That thing is ugly.
So anyway, it's a booming business right now, and it looks like it's easier than ever, Riley.
Hey, that was pretty amazing stuff. Definitely pretty cool watching that tool do its thing. For today, we've got the 92 at both our airports. Pretty hot and humid out there with low temperatures only in the mid-70s this morning. Have a look at that 7-day forecast just after break. Waiting for if you're a winner. Well, it's been a beautiful afternoon over Aiken County. Looking at just a few of these puffy cumulus clouds. No rain producers currently in Aiken. We are mostly dry. Temperatures close to 90 degrees. Definitely feeling at least like the low 90s on that heat index. We are tracking a few very tiny showers out there. Those will continue to just move further towards the north and to the west as we head towards sunset. After midnight, looking completely dry. We are expecting some patchy dense fog early tomorrow morning, so heads up for that if you do have an early commute. Later into the afternoon, we'll likely be tracking some more tiny little summer showers. Not expecting rain to be too widespread, though, heading into tomorrow. Those rain chances do look better, though, Friday into Saturday. This is going to be our next approaching cold front, and the latest outlook for our Sunday holiday for July 4th is looking much better. Only anticipating maybe a stray isolated afternoon storm, but in general looking much drier by Sunday, and those temperatures look to be below average as well.
Still ahead on News 12, first at 5, there's a new call to take more action when it comes to keeping an eye on how city officials spend your tax dollars on credit cards. We're live with the latest updates on potential audits coming up in 3 minutes.
We've been talking about some of the struggles searching for a job can bring these days. We've also talked about the lack of childcare options for parents all across the 2 states.
So now a video of a mom who brought her toddler to work has gone viral. And as Wrdw shows us, it's highlighting some of the challenges parents are facing every day.
Suited up and with resume in hand. I knew people would relate to it. I just didn't quite know how many. 1-year-old Milo Munwiller joined his mother Maggie Munwiller on her job interview. The St. Louis County mother documented the whole journey on TikTok.
And now I think we're probably almost to 8 million views, which is absolutely insane and so awesome.
6 weeks after Milo was born, Munwiller says she was laid off from her job and has since struggled to juggle finding work during the pandemic and taking care of Milo.
A lot of people aren't able to pay for the child care if they're unemployed, even if there's one parent who is employed. You have so many other bills that you have to pay for.
So when Munwiller got a last-minute call to interview for a new job, she feared she couldn't make it work.
I was just honest and let them know that I wasn't able to have childcare, so I may need to schedule it for another time. So immediately their response was, "We're child friendly."
A January 2021 Pew Research study says about half of employed parents with children under 12 say child care responsibilities have been difficult to handle during the pandemic. Munwiller says this video sheds light on the struggles families like her have faced.
Hopefully employers all over will start listening to this conversation and read the comments.
Comments all over her TikTok are now calling for more employers to normalize child-friendly offices or offering child care access.
It's just such an important thing to continue this momentum to talk about it, hopefully do better as a country.
And it turns out little Milo is pretty good at networking.
Yeah, I mean, how could you say no to that kid? He's
I love
adorable.
the suit, don't you?
He is so
And
cute.
by the way, Mom did get a job offer.
That's fantastic. But, you know, it's a real struggle for so many people. She says she does plan to post updates on TikTok about her new job and her experience as a working mom. So not exactly sure where she's working, but I am sure that they are lowering the goodwill.
She's coming in with a bunch of followers,
Yeah,
so she has to keep
I hope
producing
it's marketing.
content. We're going to watch that little boy grow up finally on TikTok.
Well, Walmart says it will start selling its own private brand of analog insulin at a discounted price. Starting this week, the new brand will be available in Walmart pharmacies if you have a prescription. The insulin will cost about $73 a vial, $86 for a package of pre-filled pens. The same product will be available at Sam's Club in mid-July. So some good news for those suffering with diabetes.
Well, the results are in for the restaurant chain customers are most satisfied with this year, and snagging the top spot for the 7th year in a row. The winner, of course, is Chick-fil-A.
I mean, can they ever be unseated? It's difficult to come up with that level of customer
It's their
service.
pleasure.
It is their pleasure, but the chain's lead did drop a point from last year. Last year's industry leader, Longhorn Steakhouse, fell 1% into a three-way tie for second place with Olive Garden and Texas Roadhouse. Lots of Augusta eateries in
We
this
have
list.
all of that, and that all sounds great at 5:51 in the afternoon.
Starving.
Good news for drivers out on I-20. Going to give you a live look at the state line there. Work on the bridge is going to be canceled for tomorrow night. You remember they were going to be down to one lane. That's not going to happen. No word yet on when we can expect that lane closure to be installed again. But no interstate lane closures are going to happen from noon on Friday through Tuesday night for the 4th of July holiday weekend. The 4th is upon us, Riley.
It is, and we have seen a big improvement to our July 4th holiday weekend forecast. By Sunday, we're expecting much lower storm chances, and temperature-wise, expecting them to be below average. We'll take it. I'm now looking at 7-day just after the break.
He was ordered to turn over cases and financial records last week by the South Carolina Court Administration. Allendale County Council will talk about this issue privately tonight. Both those people have been replaced.
The McDuffie County Sheriff's Office needs your help finding this runaway teen. 15-year-old Alexia McKeegan was seen Sunday night leaving her house around 9:30. Deputies say she left in a dark pickup with a U-Haul trailer behind it and an unknown man in the driver's seat. She was last seen in the Neal Mills Road area in Deering, Georgia. Giving you a live look here from two stretches of I-20
in just a little bit.
2 deadly shootings and a stabbing in 24 hours in the area. The latest happening around 9 this morning in Grovetown, where officers were called to a townhome in the Harvestwood neighborhood. That's off West Robinson Avenue. Officers found someone shot to death there, and police have not named that person or have announced if there are any arrests or suspects in the case. Last night, a man was found shot to death on Ballpark Road in Barnwell. Then Monday afternoon, a man accused of stabbing and killing his own 75-year-old grandmother. Torrey Sapp Jr. charged with murder in that case. Richmond County deputies found Rosalind Sapp stabbed in her home near Westminster around lunchtime yesterday. Well, a bit of good news out of the pandemic for animal lovers. 2020 saw a 50% reduction in the number of dogs and cats euthanized in shelters. The I-Team collecting data from local counties to see what the picture looks like here at home. Laura.
Well, it is good news. I did find overall adoptions were way up and a lot fewer animals were killed in our local shelters last year, especially those put down just to make more room. In Augusta, 538 dogs and 929 cats were euthanized in 2020. That includes for health or behavioral issues, but that's about half as many as the year before, which is right on trend with what the Best Friends Animal Society reported nationally, too. Only 30 dogs and 7 cats were put down last year in Richmond County for space, and that's a huge reduction from back in 2019, where more than 560 were killed just to make room. Columbia County, taking a look here, 2019, 901 animals put down. In 2020, that number nearly cut in half to 579. Now, we're still working on Aiken County numbers. We've sent them a request, but U.S. News and World Report lists Georgia and South Carolina as 2 of the top 15 states in the country that euthanize animals. And our local shelters say, especially this summer, they are starting to see those numbers creep back up and shelters hit capacity again. So there is still a lot of work to do. Right now, cats are only $10 to adopt at the Columbia County Animal Shelter. So great time if you are in the market for a new best friend.
The family of a Screven County man killed by a Georgia State Trooper is speaking out today. This comes a day after a grand jury recommended the former trooper not be taken to trial to face charges. As Sean Evans reports, the family in cavities, but over the years, some people have questioned that.
But now one local water service is doing away with it. Celeste Springer live.
Screven County man killed by a Georgia State Trooper is speaking out today. This comes a day after a grand jury recommended the former trooper not be taken to trial to face charges. As Sean Evans reports, the family believes that decision was a mistake.
Family of Julian Lewis say they feel let down by the justice system after a grand jury in Screven County decided not to indict Thompson on the felony murder and assault charges he faced in Lewis's death.
He needs to do some time or something for taking my child's life. He didn't have to do what he did to my child, but he did it.
At least 12 of the 22 grand jurors needed to agree to indict Thompson on the charges he faced.
What we saw was essentially a group of citizens say that the GBI was wrong, that the Superior Court judge who determined that there was probable cause, that he was wrong, and they took it upon themselves to say that there was no probable cause.
Attorney Francis Johnson, also representing Lewis's family, says they don't believe that the decision was unanimous and that there was some disagreement among jurors.
We understand that there were members of this grand jury who seemed convinced from the very beginning that they had a duty, if they were going to bag the blue, to set Jacob Gordon Thompson free.
Johnson says the family wants first-term district attorney Daphne Todd to do 3 things. The first is to let the family see video evidence shown to the grand jury.
But it's not been shown to Julian's mother or his wife or his attorney.
The family also wants to meet with DA Todd, which they say hasn't happened at this point. The third request is for Todd to impanel a special grand jury to reconsider the case against Thompson.
And as you promised this family, and you took an oath to do, prosecute this case to the fullest extent of the law gives you another opportunity to make a presentation, and we expect you to do so.
Also this evening, fluoride added to our water with the goal of preventing cavities, but over the years, some people have questioned that.
But now one local water service is doing away with it. Celeste Springer live in Gloverville at the Valley Public Services Authority. So, Celeste, why are they pumping the brakes on fluoride after all these years?
Well, they say it comes down to dollar signs. People living in parts of Gloverville, Graniteville, and Warrenville all use Valley Public Services. Their fluoride coming from China, and the general manager here says that does not come cheap. You're looking at $3,500. Over the past 5 months, the general manager of the Valley Public Service Authority says this fluoride has almost doubled in price, and it does not include the cost to keep it at safe levels. But the neighbors who use the water say it comes with benefits.
Well, I'm concerned not only for myself and all my neighbors and the children, because the American Dental Association likes fluoride in water because it does away with a lot of cavities.
The Valley Public Service Authority tells us they sent out notifications alerting customers they were going to do away with the fluoride. But
well, the first I heard about it was this morning when I read the neighborhood Facebook page.
Billy Kraft says he did not catch the notification and wishes there was more communication about his water before everything was said and done.
So without that, that would be an increase in dental work. Plus, if you have to have a dentist to do the fluoride treatment, that's going to be something else you're going to have to pay for.
It's up in the air whether fluoride will cost more or save more in the long run. But as for keeping it here,
at this point in time, it doesn't appear that's going to happen.
So it might be a good idea for neighbors to keep brushing those pearly whites. And the general manager here opted not to go on camera, but he did tell me he is very happy to answer any questions or concerns that people might have. I also called the city of Aiken to see what they're doing about their water. They say fluoride has been a concern to some people in the past, not necessarily over cost, but over it going into horses' systems. They tell me as of right now, the fluoride will be staying in their water. And meanwhile, across the river in Georgia, the city of Augusta says they're required by Georgia to have fluoride in the drinking water, so it is there to stay as well.
Interesting debate, Celeste. And if you're curious, by the way, about what's in your water, we're going to have the link on how you can find out right there along with your story on our website, wrdw.com.
If you live in South Carolina or get gas there, the price is going up. Starting this Thursday, the gas tax goes up to 2 cents a gallon. Now, this isn't new. It's been going up 2 cents every July since 2017. The bump in fees is supposed to pay to fix our roads and bridges all across the state. Car registration costs have nearly doubled. We're also paying higher sales tax on cars to help pay for these road repairs. But our I-team found DOT has now approved $41 million for 241 miles of road improvement projects in Aiken County alone that tax will pay for. Sections of West 5 Notch, Hitchcock Parkway, and Croft Mill Road all set for improvement over the next few years. Hopefully we'll see some payoff for that higher gas. During the pandemic, mental health has come even more